What's up guys, Joseph Gotch here, part of Team USA. I'm making this video specifically for you watching right now. I'm trying to grow the sport of handball. Everyone thinks they could do it on their own, start their own handball organization, their own business, host their own tournaments. But if every tournament is done exactly the same way and the only difference is a little bit of money or more live feeds, that's not really growing much, is it? I think we've proven that over the last couple of years. It doesn't do anything. What did work, and if you guys remember it, I think I've proven myself when it came to the social media game, when it came to Facebook back in the day, when it came to Instagram, a lot of the sponsors I've acquired. I even shared some secret sauce with everybody on where to make a profile to acquire sponsorships for free. Nobody took advantage. Zero. I was the only one. So, this video is for you specifically. You want to grow the sport of handball. The number one way to grow the sport of handball right now is to grow your personal brand. If you're watching this video, you want to grow handball. You also want sponsors. You want to get endorsed. I'm not talking about the sponsors within handball already. I'm talking about new sponsors. Your neighborhood sponsors. People that are outside of handball. That's the growth that we need to hit the next level. Okay? Now I don't want to talk too much into it. We know the power of social media. You've seen certain people utilize social media from scratch, acquire some type of partnership, whether it's ongoing or whatever. Experience plays a huge role, and I have a little bit of experience, and I want to share that. Okay? Number one thing, you're somebody in the community. Now, it's going to fall under categories. You fall under this category in the community. You've played handball for a very long time. You have respect in the industry. You're a little older now, so what you do is you host a lot of events for the community. See, that's what's beautiful about handball. Handball is a self-governing sport. Nobody can tell you anything. And we all run it successfully. Now, what you need to do as a tournament host to make sure that your tournament is a legacy tournament for years and years and years to come, you can't just call it a B doubles. You need to have a name attached to it. Okay? For example, Toka's tournament, Beast Mode. That's a pretty, over 10 years, Beast Mode, pretty substantial. You have Jason Healy with Heavy Hitters. Heavy Hitters is a good name for a handball tournament. You have Buddha. You have Big Blue Ballers. These are just some examples. You need to make fan pages specifically for that event. All right? And it has to be Instagram. It could be TikTok too, but it needs to be Instagram. For those of you that have ran those tournaments, or you have your own tournament that you've ran annually, there's a lot of content and videos and pictures and, talking shit, side betting on the side that people have captured, just recording regular stuff on stories and Snapchat. This is the stuff that you need to upload on that page. You need to have an event page that is just meant for that event. It's called a compound effect, exponential growth for your event, because the same people that have those events, they also host other events. Those events are different. Each one has their own purpose. So you need to make it known to the world that this is Heavy Hitters, this is Cannabis Cup, this is Big Blue Ballers, this is King of the Courts. We have to part ways with Facebook. We have to. At least on Instagram, people can make highlights of their stories. So maybe every single year that goes by, highlights for 2019, 2020, 2021, 2020. Imagine nowadays coming to King of the Court's Instagram page, and you can see highlights since 2000s, 2010s. Every single year, highlights of just those moments. And you have a couple hundred thousands of photos and media and interviews of things that just took place at King of the Courts over the decades. Fire. Value. Okay? Now imagine all of our handball tournament hosts doing that for every significant tournament that you know you want to create memories and a legacy for. And on top of that, when you start tagging all the players, a lot of the players that are involved in these tournaments also get little bits of recognition. It's also going to push these players to also tag your event page. You see how that works? You see how that works? This has to be done. That's step one. Okay? Step two, you're a handball player. Handball doesn't pay. All right? So what is the best thing you can do as a handball player to bring more value to the table as an athlete? You need to work on building your personal brand. A lot of you guys watching this video right now have so much content out there on YouTube, on Facebook Live. You get tagged everywhere. You need to start using this content and reposting it or editing it yourself. Now, Joe, how do I do that? I know most of you guys, if you know, I had interviews with certain players, top players, B players, whatever. They all said if they had a little bit of help with social media, they know that they can make a difference in the game. So now I want to challenge you guys to uploading your own content yourself that has to do with the sport, the way you train, the way you eat. Okay? All these little things in between, your little opinions on certain events that you played, you know, critiquing stuff. This needs to be done. Some people feel like they may be hated for expressing their opinion and other people will be loved for it. But by all means, all publicity is good publicity and it is needed and required in our sport. Okay? So you go on YouTube. Step one, you get the link. You go on Google. You type in YouTube video download. Or you can use an app on the computer called Streamable. STREAMABLE.com. I'm going to have a link in the description for you. What you can do on this app is pretty much you copy paste a link from the YouTube video. You can pinpoint what part of the video you want to clip, download that clip, and then you can edit it easier rather than having to download a 40-minute handball video. All right, these are just some examples. You take that clip, you drag it onto either iMovies or CapCut. On CapCut, you're going to see an option where it says ratio. You click ratio, you click 9:16, which is the Reel and TikTok edit, you know, with that rectangle. And then you export it into your folder. And then what do? You go on Instagram.com, you click create, you drag that video, you find the right song, the right reel that you want to use, and then you upload it. If every player did this, even if it was 3 times a week, if every player did this, if our top players did this, or if you did it and you see a future playing this sport because you feel like you have influence, you're a sociable guy, you're a sociable girl, you have a good head on your shoulders, you have wisdom, you have knowledge, you have experience, you need to be doing this stuff because you need to build your personal brand as an athlete walking around these streets because you're more than just a handball player. Okay, you're actively creating content, you're sharing your experience, you're giving people tips and advice. And even if you feel like nobody's listening, there are people watching. Consistency will bring people to you. People follow people. That's the best way I can put it. So that's what you need to do. Now that we talked about what the organization hosts need to do in order to brand their events, and now that we talked about what the handball players need to do in order to brand themselves, I want you guys to take a step back and think about it for a second. Imagine every big handball tournament that you've been a part of over the last 5 to 10 years. They had 10 years of social media content, posting professionally, dope edits, sick. And on top of that, imagine the top 100 handball players in New York City, whether you're a B or an A player, posting on social media actively, commenting, liking, and sharing fellow handball players that they're friends with, because everyone plays with each other, everybody knows each other. But if everyone understood the game that we were playing when it came to social media, oh shit, Taiwan uploaded. All right, guys, all 100 of us like and comment and share. If we all did that together, every state that has handball players everywhere would come together and we would all build massive following and audience around every single player, and then every player would promote every single event that they're attending, and it would be massive. It would be massive. It will come to a point where no company can ignore what handball is doing here. It's kind of like, oh shit. Remember when pickleball came out of nowhere? People were seeing highlights and shit. That's exactly what's going to happen with handball, because now hundreds of players are commenting on each other's shit, tagging each other, and it's just going to go viral without much effort from one person. 1% of 100 people's effort is 100%, right? That's amazing. And here's the third thing. I completely forgot about this, but this needs to be said too. So here's the third thing. So imagine the years where, when you were in high school playing. I know when I was in high school playing varsity handball, Instagram came out in 2011. Now, every other sport, their high schools and their colleges have a separate Instagram account for that school's team. That's powerful, because what these Instagram pages do for the teams, for the schools, is they acquire sponsorships over the years, because they see how active the kids are in this sport, in that school, and naturally people want to support that, because that's where any sport grows. The sport grows through the kids. Point blank, period. So if you're watching this and you're from USHA or ICHA, take that into consideration by implementing something where you can work with high schools and work with colleges across the country, where you help them create their own personal pages for their school teams. And those co-captains, when I was on the handball team, we had someone doing photos and pictures for our team. I'm pretty sure everybody in those schools can easily get somebody to do that for them. Now you have kids that are young, ambitious, really good with social media, exceptionally good with internet and anything technology-wise. You're going to want to utilize that, because kids know how they can grow pages in areas where people maybe in our age group don't really see it that way. So that's important too, okay? We need to create brands for our high school teams and our collegiate teams across the country. Build followings and audiences around those team pages. And now when you circulate the following and the people that run those pages, all the kids will follow their page, because all the kids support their friends in high school that are part of the teams. And then all the years that go by, it'll expand outwards, word to mouth. And I'm telling you, I know as I'm saying this, you're probably thinking about it like, wow, yeah, that's exponential growth right there through the kids, because when it goes through kids, word to mouth, things blow up like crazy. Okay? So that's the third thing. So if you're watching that, you have like a little role you can play in that area where you can help out the schools in some way, shape, or form. You like do that. Get involved. And also you can build your personal brand on you doing that. That's a double whammy right there as a handball player trying to grow their personal brand, trying to grow the sport. That's, really lucrative. Now the next thing you guys are going to want to do is you're going to want to make a personal website for yourself. Okay? First name, last name.com. That is what you're going to want to do. For those of you that, handball is just a hobby, and you don't really see yourself doing anything or committing to the sport in any way, you still need to build your brand as your individual. So you need a website for yourself. Even if handball is just a hobby for you and you're not looking to do anything or make anything out of it, it's still a part of your life in which you want people to know a little bit about who you are. So when in your website, you talk about what you do for a living, anything that you're working on, a company that you started that you're trying to explain to people what you do, and what you do in your free time. And you promote yourself as also a semi-pro athlete, an amateur athlete, a pro handball player. it's still good on you when other people want to do research and look into who you are as a person. Being an athlete in any way, shape, or form shows a lot about a person's character, obviously, because it takes a lot of discipline to be really good and to be devoted. It's not easy. It's not an easy life being an athlete, whether you get paid a lot or whether you get paid a little, no matter what. It's extremely, extremely difficult, right? So that's step 2. Step 3, you're posting every day, but you're not getting a lot of followings. You're not getting a lot of followers. You're not seeing progress as quickly as you'd like to. Maybe you don't see a lot of other people in your community taking this advice and you feel like you're on your own. Maybe it's just you and 10 people doing it and hitting each other on a post, helping each other grow, and it's not enough. Well, then you got to get with an agency. You need to get with an agency. Get with the sports agency, pay them a couple $100 a month. They help you building your websites. They help you getting on podcasts to build your brand, shaking hands with certain people, getting your face and name out there even a little bit. Because when it comes down to Googling your name, you want your name and your shit to pop up. So even if you wanted to go for that job 5 years from now because it's in your career, at least you know that you building your brand as an athlete, as a handball player, when people search your name up, they see all these articles about you, they see these podcast interviews about you, they're going to listen and they're going to read it and they're going to see what people have to say about you, and that can do a lot for you in the future. So forget about just focusing on handball. It's a part of your life that makes you who you are, which is very important to the people that potentially see you getting involved with whatever they're doing, or getting involved with whatever you want to do and supporting you. Very, very, very important. Okay. So getting with the agency, important. We're talking about what, $300 to $500 a month. Now, this is a way of you investing in yourself. Don't think about it as throwing your money away, because people do throw their money away on stupid shit. So just think back to the last couple of weeks on what you spent your money on and how much money you spent. Think about what you could sacrifice in order to put towards something that is good for you, that has a compound effect in terms of marketing yourself and your brand and your sport. All right? Crucial, 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 crucial. All right, now we're going to talk about the next part. You're uploading consistently. You got your website up. You got an agency that's helping you build your following online. Maybe you got with a social media agency that you pay them monthly to help you build your followers. So every time you post content, you're getting more and more views. You're getting more people to hit your website. Maybe you have a personalized shirt or hoodie or something that people need that is not necessarily geared towards handball, but is geared towards your audience based on the stuff you upload, which you're getting help outside to promote you. Now you're gonna want to take a look at a website that I've used a couple years back, and I've gotten 13 sponsors just through this platform alone, and it's free. It's called Open Sponsorship. Okay? Once you have a couple thousand followers on Instagram and other social media platforms, you can make a free account on Open Sponsorship and you can apply to a bunch of companies on there. There's hundreds of companies on there actively looking for athletes in different niches, different followings, different persona, different type of, person that they are to represent their brand. Sometimes they pay you for it, depending on how popular you are, or sometimes they just give you a bunch of free product and all they want you to do is just share your experience using this product and share it with your friends. And sometimes they give you a coupon code to give away to your community so they can save some money on something that they actually need. And also, you build your brand by doing this. That goes on your resume. Think about it for a second. My resume has Quest, Tiger Balm, Coconut Water, Thread Beast. I have a bunch of smaller brands that I've worked with over the years, and it all adds up. So, when that big sponsor comes along one day and you're consistent with your posting and your engagement and working with this agency that's lining you up to do certain things, and you have a community of other handball players and organizations doing the same thing, promoting their events and promoting you as an athlete, when these companies come along, you tell them like, yeah, I've worked with this company, da, 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 da. You kind of list it out and you tell them what your goals are as an athlete, and you also respond and ask them what they're looking for if they were to work with you as a handball player. These are things that we need to take note of. These are the times to do it. Social media is the time. This is the day and age where it means the most, and we all collectively need to work together on doing this because, you know, when it comes down to it, no one's going to do it for you. You may have people like me, side bets, you know, Nietzsche, Phil. We take certain clips and we upload it to kind of showcase our community a little bit, but it's difficult and it takes more than one person to do it. And sometimes it's going to require outside help with people who are specifically intelligent in their field to get it done, because most of us, we're just players. But the beauty about being players is we know what we want people to see about us. So we know how we want to be viewed. So I need you to take that into consideration when you're making content for yourself and you see videos of yourself online doing whatever it is that you do on the sidelines or while you're playing or whatever. Only you know how you want to be portrayed. So once you have some type of consistency and stuff to show people on how you market yourself, there may be a time where someone comes along that wants to help you in your marketing endeavors because they see that you have the it factor, but you just need a little bit of help. And they know how to market you because they see how you market yourself. And maybe they want to work with a professional athlete, but working with professional baseball players and basketball players is just impossible. Maybe them working with a professional handball player will be easier for them to get in contact with you and easier for you to say yes, because why wouldn't you want free help from someone that wants to make it big in what they're doing? Partnerships. If you can prove you have value in what you do when you upload and you show that you have heart and you're motivated and you are the one to make handball big and you can prove it, other people will notice it. All we got to do is upload, put in a little bit of work, half an hour every single day. That's all you got to do. And of course, when it comes down to making your own podcast and doing your own thing and whatever it is, you see certain people working on their own documentaries and you see people on YouTube uploading stuff from years ago, the Big Blue documentary, the Joe Durso videos. We need a lot of people to be doing this. We need to suffocate the online world with our industry. All it takes is one person to make handball big. Are you going to be the one to do it? I hope this video is of some value to you. You know, we've been doing this for a long time. Sometimes you can't help but feel sad because time passes you by so quick. And we've all been doing the same thing for a long time. It's time to change it up. If anybody has any questions, if anybody is serious about building your brand, if anybody has, you might have an extra $1,000 a month to throw towards handball and you don't know where to put it. Reach out. Reach out. We have the connections. We know the right agencies. We know the marketing agencies. We can help. But by all means, get to work. Do it yourself. See the progress that you can achieve on your own when you do the work yourself. And then let your mind wander into the possibilities if you had a little bit of help from the outside world with people that you trust, people that you know. We can make the sport big. We can make handball great again. We really can. We can bring it back to the era where it was in the 90s, where it was packed, a million people playing the sport. We could do it. We could do it. But no one can do it for you. We got to prove it to the outside world that we could do it. So this is it. If you guys need any help, I'm going to have some links in the description on tools that we use, most of us, me, Phil, Nietzsche, Handball 4K, a lot of these guys. This is the blueprint. This is what we do. Let's get it done. This is Gooch. Peace.